Welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Lupagus here with Onebar, and we've talked about second-year guys. We've talked about some rookies, some undrafted free agents, but let's go back even further. Let's look at some third-year guys, some guys who maybe are on the brink of a make-or-break year.
Yes, before we get to that, remember, subscribe to the channel, like the videos here every damn day talking Vikings. And when you look at draft grades, when you look at everything, it always is that third magical year where things should start to come together.
Yeah, for some of these guys, it has in this class. For some, it kind of has, and some aren't even close. So we're going to talk about some guys who this year is really huge for them sticking with the team, even for the sake of their NFL careers in some cases. So let's start.
Let's hold on. Let's remember, this is the draft class that gave us Brian Cole, Jeff Gladney, Nate Stanley, a couple other dandies, but we're not talking about them. Who are we talking about?
Oh, the first guy I want to talk about is Kenny Willekes. And here's my thing with Kenny Willekes this year. This is a guy who did show some flashes last year. He finally got to play 6 games. He had 2.5 sacks, 18 total tackles. I just don't know where he fits in. I mean, he played with his hand in the dirt last year. We are going to run some 4-3 front, so maybe he goes back to that. He could stand up and rush from a standing up perspective, but I don't know. I'm worried about Kenny. I think he really has to blow this new coaching staff out of the water in mini camp, training camp, first shot to make this team. And I'm rooting for him. The odds are always stacked against Kenny Willekes, and he always rises to the occasion. But this year, again, another uphill battle for this guy.
Well, I think at the end of this season, we're going to be referring to him as Kenneth because he's going to earn that. And this is really his second year. His first year was a wash. He was injured. And looking at, coming out of the draft, all the draft profiles, they projected him as an outside pass rushing linebacker in a 3-4. So this is, I think he might surprise us. I think this might be his bread and butter. I mean, he's got some competition at that spot, but this is perfect case scenario for Kenneth.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go with the Kenneth thing. I like calling this guy Kenny. It sounds a lot more fun. Sounds a little more wild. I'm much more intimidated by a man named Kenny than a man named Kenneth if I'm a lineman.
Kenneth, if he was going to succeed as the Minnesota Vikings, I feel much better in this defense than the 4-3. So we'll see what he's got to offer. Everybody's pulling for Kenny Willekes. We love Kenny Willekes.
Absolutely. Who you got me next? You want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about a guy who's actually seen a ton of action over the last couple of years, and that's Ezra Cleveland. 26 games started. And again, we're going to sound like a broken record, but this comes back to what the coaching staff hasn't planned for him. I mean, we signed all those guards. We drafted a guard in the second round. With Ezra Cleveland here, he's done a good job. He hasn't done great. I mean, we moved him around in positions, but this is going to be a very telling year for Ezra.
Yeah, everybody's assuming this guy's safe, and I don't think he should be by any means. I mean, yeah, he's probably good overall, but he's had some pretty damn bad games as well. And a new coaching staff in here. They brought in Jesse Davis, Chris Reed. You draft Ed Ingram, so there's a lot more competition than there was a year ago. So Ezra Cleveland, yeah, he's going to probably be the starter. 99% sure that's going to happen. But if he starts to falter a little bit, this could be a year that, I think he's got more to lose and more to gain.
Yeah, he's a very good run blocker, a little suspect in pass blocking. What I love about Ezra Cleveland is the versatility. Like if for some reason he didn't start, which I hope he does, he could still back up even at tackle, guard, whatever. Love him. It would be a tough task for one of these guys to come in and take his spot, but it's possible.
Yeah, it is. So let's just not assume he's going to be not just a starter, but a long-term. Everybody looks at this line. They're like, oh, yeah, we got Darrisaw, we got Cleveland, we got, not Garrett Bradbury, but Ingram, and then Brian O'Neill. But Cleveland, he's not a lock. But, I mean, one more good year, he will be. A good year this year, he will be. So let's go another guy here, a guy who I really, truly feel this 3-4 switch is really going to affect. I don't know if you feel the same as I do, but James Lynch, the ginger snap. A guy who he showed some flashes. He had a beautiful bull rush sack. I think it was against Russell Wilson his rookie year. Then he was surprisingly quiet after that. But last year he played a little bit more. He showed up in 13 games. He even started one. He had 30 total tackles and another sack. So the ginger snap here, to me, he's just your classic 4-3 interior disruptor. How he fits in a 3-4 front, if that's what we run primarily. I don't know if he's big enough to play. He's definitely not big enough for nose. 5 tech, not really. I don't know. I mean, what do you do with this guy?
I don't know. I mean, for James Lynch, you basically got to send him out there and say, just go get the quarterback. He's not going to wow you with his run defense either. That's what he did at Baylor, was just get after the quarterback. I don't know that the switch for this, like you said, does scare me for James Lynch. What he's got going for him is lack of competition. So James Lynch, you don't have a ton behind you. So hopefully they can find a way to get him on the field. But I'm a little scared for James.
It's all about position fit for this guy, and hopefully they can find something for him. And I don't know if he can. It depends how the depth chart shakes out. If some of these undrafted guys, when these rookies step up, James Lynch might just be an odd man out because there's just nowhere really to play him. So we'll see what happens.
Even in the 4.3, I mean, whatever you want to say about PFF, his grades were horrible.
Yeah, like I said, he would have a shining moment one game, do something great, maybe even be called back on a penalty. He's always that guy too who would like jump on the pile to make it look like he got the sack. James Lynch had a great game today, and you look at the stats, he had like a half a tackle, and I swear I saw him on every single play, but that's just because he's late to the show. So another guy who's not been late to the show, he's definitely gotten plenty of sniffs, plenty of playing time. His cornerback Cam Dancer. What do you think? Well, this guy.
Dancer, this is the year we see what we got in him. His rookie year, he came out, gave us some excitement. Then all of a sudden, next training camp, he's like the last cornerback on the depth chart. Is that a coaching issue? Is he in the doghouse? We will find out very soon. But on the other side of things, this is a dude whose PFF scores were off the charts. This dude was fantastic. This is a mixed bag for me. I don't know what to expect from Dancer.
Well, I mean, he's had great moments. He's had some bad moments. Now you look at, you've got Andrew Booth Jr. breathing up his ass. You got Caleb Evans, who's definitely Kwesi's guy. He made that well known in press conferences, so he's been rooting for him. So a little more of a challenge here. He was kind of just almost the starter by default last year because, well, he actually had Bashaud Breeland ahead of him, but turns out he probably should have been the starter because Bashaud Breeland was pure ass. So, yeah, I mean, a guy who, I mean, remember his first year of that training camp, everybody's talking about how great this guy is, the plays he's making on the ball, he's shutting down Adam Thielen, and then didn't quite see that translate so much into the season. So he's had ups and downs. I'd love to see Cam Dancer, figure this thing out and become a true starter and really secure his spots as this team's number one corner. I'm going to say it, this team's number one corner.
Oh, wow. That's aggressive. What he's got going for him is like Evans. He's got size. A lot of our corners don't have that, so that's going to get him on the field regardless. But it's going to be interesting to see a new coaching staff's take on Cam, the man, Dantzler.
Yeah, he's not afraid to get his shoulder in there and make a tackle either. I like that about Cam. A little feisty.
All right, last guy.
Last guy is DJ Wanham, another edge rusher, and a guy who you talked about this with James Lynch. Just let him do one thing, rush the quarterback. Well, that's all you can do really with TJ Wanham. Horrible run defender. He did have 8 sacks last year, so stand this guy up, let him get after the quarterback. There may be a spot for this guy on this team.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it. Liability against the run. Started a ton of games last year due to injury, and 8 sacks, fine. I'm not a DJ Wanham guy. I hope he does fantastic, but I wouldn't care if he got cut. I really don't. I never got the DJ Wanham juice in my body. It doesn't do it for me.
Do you want a big cup of DJ Wanham juice?
I would love a big old serving of DJ Wanham, him come out and get 11 sacks this year. But looking at some of these other guys, I get more excited about these other guys. I mean, honestly, if I'm going to have somebody line up out there and get after the quarterback, I would rather have Kenny Willis out there.
Well, you got DJ Wanham. I mean, look at the depth chart ahead of him. You got obviously Hunter, Zadarius Smith. You got to think Wanham's probably the third option just from having 8 sacks last year as a stand-up guy. I think he's definitely gonna have a role in this team as a backup, situational pass rusher. I think you can do worse than DJ Wanham. I don't have high expectations for him. I think what he's going to be in this league is going to be a situational pass rusher, a backup guy. I don't think I need to see him start anymore after last year, how bad his run defenses was. But again, a guy who had some big plays for the Vikings and always be very thankful for the time he strip sacked Aaron Rodgers in the game a couple years ago.
Absolutely wonderful moment in Vikings history. But let's see what Pat Jones has to offer. Let's see what some of these other guys have to offer. We know what old DJ does.
Yeah, we do. We got Janarius Robinson on there as well. So definitely some guys who can, you got these undrafted guys who are intriguing. We're both big fans of Luigi Villain, see what he can do. So a lot more competition and some guys we haven't really seen much of. So it'll be a fun camp. I'm excited for this battle at the edge rusher position.
Can't wait. Those are our 5 guys. Let us know around the comments. Out of these guys, who is your shining diamond and your stinky turd? And
let us know if you enjoy a big frothy mug of Wanham juice as well. In 2015, remember this too. In 2015, a Canadian man named Christopher Hiscock broke into a stranger's home. He did their laundry, cooked a meal, wrote in the homeowner's diary, and then he was found sitting by a stove fire, sipping a cup of tea before he was arrested. Sounds like a great day.